this computer, so we should be fine. Thanks everybody for being here, and hope everybody is still doing okay, or as okay as you can during these strange times. And I'll give the word to I give the microphone to Scott.
All right. Well, on that note that we're recording, I have intentionally tried really hard not to prepare for this tonight.
Okay.
Not just because I'm overwhelmed, but I'm hoping that at some point we'll get stuck where you guys can kind of stump me on some stuff, and that way, you know, like I don't want you to feel like you're walking into a situation like I'm some expert who like knows everything and like you can't possibly do what I do. But I talk with my students about race frequently in chemistry class, and so I volunteered to do a little bit of a discussion with us so that we could practice doing this in our online workshops. I'm Scott Milan, by the way. I'm so sorry. Hi, I teach chemistry in Michigan. I am kind of in between Ann Arbor and Detroit, closer to Ann Arbor in Plymouth, Michigan. I teach chemistry, IB chemistry, and I've done modeling for 5 years, and I love it. I'm figuring it out online a little bit as we go. So anyway, so the goal tonight was really to get you some practice with what this would actually look like, where you guys are going to be student mode and I'm going to be teacher mode as best we can, although I'm a little bit of a quirky teacher, so it might seem like I'm in student mode myself a little bit. After we do a little bit of a discussion, I would like to do a little bit of planning of like what this might look like in your classroom with you, because I don't know, we talk about race all the time in my class, so we've talked about from many different angles, and there might be some things that you're more comfortable with, and that's probably where you should start, right? I know that in the past we've done discussions in my class about why there are so few teachers that are non-white, right? And there's a history there that a lot of students aren't aware of, but there's also some important ramifications for how that plays out. Before we start, I read a really good article once, and it talked about, you know, like, why do you do this? Is something that we're always a little bit afraid to say. For me, I went to a suburban high school, predominantly white, Macomb, Dakota, and I feel like when I graduated and started teaching that I was wildly unprepared to understand racism. I didn't have a solid definition of it. I didn't understand the history of it. And I didn't understand my role in it. And so I had a very limited viewpoint of like good, bad, very fundamental type things. And that would cause me to do things that now in retrospect, I realize that were very racist and harmful to students that I had. And so I have some personal regret, you know, for doing that. And I don't want my students to do that when they leave high school. I don't want them to go off to be chemists or physicists or teachers or anything where they don't have a base understanding of that. I know that I don't run into issues with this, I guess. I have a ton of autonomy in my school, but I know some people get worried that, you know, like, well, what exactly are you going to, you know, are you going to be political with students or something? I don't know, fear of kickback from parents. Every once in a while I get someone maybe complaining a little, but I did want to talk about that to start things off. And I think that something I'm seeing a lot currently amongst my high school students that we've been talking about is the purpose behind being cautious with language and using racism as a tool. And there's kind of a good way and a bad way to use it. So to me, if I'm calling someone out and saying that I think what they did is racist, that my intention there is to prevent harm from coming to students or to that person or to educate them, right? I think that there's also a current tendency to use racism as a means to accuse others of being bad to show that you're part of the good. And that's something I find that high school students do a little bit. They know that calling someone else racist is showing off that they're bad, and therefore, since I'm addressing them as bad, that I'm being good. And so one of the things that I found is that this year I'm trying to incorporate that in order to really include kids, because I think a lot of kids have shifted into this polarized world that we're hoisting upon them. And I want to pull those kids back because they're children and they didn't ask for that, right? And I want to protect them. And so I need to hook them quickly and kind of go, look, when people are calling you racist and you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong, that you become defensive and you kind of shift into this polarized world. I want to give them a pathway where they can come back and go, hang on, now I misunderstood. There was a miscommunication and I need to learn more, but also I need to do this differently. But it wasn't like an attack on my character, it was an attack on the actions that I was doing, and give them some ability to do that. All right. Wendy, can we do introductions? Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, all right. So I would love to know, I know many of you, but just real quick, where do you teach? And let's see, what would be something fun? Something annoying that's happened to you in the last month. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'll go in order of my screen. Tanea, you are first.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Something that is annoying that has happened to me is that even though we are supposed to be teaching 100% in person, I'm basically teaching hybrid because every so many days there's a group of kids who was sitting next to somebody who got COVID or something, I don't know. And so like today in AP Bio, half my class was gone. And so I have half the class still on Zoom and half the class in person. And that's very, very annoying. And then when that many kids are on Zoom, you have to really, it's like, okay, well, you got to put your earplugs on. We all need to go on Zoom so we really can communicate through Zoom. And then you have one kid who forgets to mute, and then you hear your voice coming across the other side of the room or whatever. So that's annoying to me. And I teach at Brophy College Preparatory in Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, welcome. Marta, you're next.
All right, I'm Marta Stuckel. I'm not actually a workshop leader, but I'm on the one of the co-chairs of the equity committee along with Tanea for the AMTA. So here to listen in. Normally I teach physics and chemistry at Tartan High School, which is just outside of St. Paul, Minnesota, though ended up taking a leave of absence this year, doing some work with Pivot Interactives and teaching some pre-service teachers instead. Something annoying, we had to get out the snowblower yesterday because we got upwards of 6 inches of snow.
It's gonna be a long winter. All right, Kristen, you're next on my list.
I teach in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I get a little frustrated on the days when it turns out I'm not the host of my own Google Meet, and I can't, make the breakout rooms. So.
All right, welcome, Holly.
I'm Holly, and I am from the west side of Cleveland in Ohio. I teach at St. Edward High School, which is an all-male Catholic high school. I teach physics at various levels. And I guess something annoying that happened to me in the last week or so is that I'm teaching the IB for the first time in 5 years, but I started the IB program at St. Ed's. And I've been teaching there a long time using the equipment. And my colleague who was teaching that class for the last 5 years while I was busy with AP E&M came in to show me the 2 resonance tuning forks and to make sure that I knew how they worked. It was very annoying. It should have been nice. I mean, it was just really hard. I had to say thank you and act like I didn't know, and it was really hard. I didn't know how to handle that.
All right, Mitch.
Hi, Mitch Sweet. I'm out in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm teaching at Stray Mountain Community College this year. I've been leading workshops, chem workshops for about 5 years now. Annoying thing is it is still 97 degrees today, right this minute, and this summer is never, ever ending.
All right, Gloria.
Hello, I teach physical science to freshmen, chemistry to juniors and seniors. biology to college freshmen and anatomy and physiology to community college students. So teaching all the sciences this year, bringing it all out. Something that I found annoying this week, we were in an IEP meeting, and for the 20th time now, my guidance counselor introduced me as Mrs. Gajevich, which I am a doctor. And I have to, again, politely remind him, I'm Dr. Gajevich. I don't mind that he calls me by my first name, but I would prefer with my students, he used doctor. And yeah, it's uncomfortable to have to address an adult again, that I am Dr. Gajevich, but that's annoying.
All right. I made myself a note, so I won't mess that up. Madam Doctor.
No, you just call me Gloria is fine.
No, I want to do the doctor thing. You know, that's impressive. I'm not a doctor, whatever the term for that is. Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Crayon. I teach chemistry, physics, and AP chemistry in Indianapolis at a Catholic high school. Something annoying that has been happening a lot is just our administration never tells us until the last minute what's going on. So for example, I'm on fall break right now, so I'm not feeling as annoyed. But last Friday, when I was waiting for fall break to start, like we knew we were supposed to go back 100% in person after fall break, and we were pretty sure it wouldn't happen, but they didn't bother to tell us till like 1 p.m. on Friday, right before fall break started.
Great. George.
Hey, Scott. George, I teach just north of the city of Chicago. I teach 7th grade science, mostly earth science, a little bit of life science. I guess what I'm annoyed with is construction, road construction. Not only do they have to change the roads out, but they also have to change, I guess, the water lines underneath when they do road construction. So that takes even longer. So it makes my commute interesting every day.
Yeah. All right, Joanna.
Hi, I teach in the city of Chicago, 9th grade, mostly 9th grade physics, and one class of sophomores chemistry. And what is annoying to me is when I'm trying to do breakout rooms and my husband's also on a video call, and I don't realize that the kids are all talking, but I think that they're all quiet, so I harass them to talk to each other, and they are. I just can't hear them.
All right. Carly.
Hi, I've taught middle school science for 10 years, but this year I'm an instructional coach for a school in the middle of a cornfield in central Michigan. And I would say this is annoying, but it's also human nature. Nobody follows instructions. So, and I'm sure as workshop leaders, you have seen that. So like students don't follow instructions, adults don't either. And so instead of being annoyed by it, I'm trying to expect it and just be very redundant.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'm trying not to comment on everything you guys say because I'm like, yep, I'm right there with you. All right, Kevin.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kevin Crothers. I teach in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I apologize for not putting my video on, but I have 5 other people in my house on Zoom calls, so it may come in, come out, it may break up, but I teach biology, chemistry, and I'm also the research methods teacher at Mass Academy. And one of the most annoying things that I've had this past month is trying to fit in college recommendations amongst all of the other components that I need to do. And so that's been quite annoying over the last month.
I'm trying not to comment. Hey, every Friday evening and Sunday evening, right? All right, Nathan, we're going around and just introducing ourselves and telling something annoying that's annoying us lately.
Hi, I'm Nathan Harada. I don't currently teach right now. I think, Joanna, do you teach at Northside Prep in the city? So I used to teach at Northside Prep, and I used to teach the methods of teaching class over at the university to teach chemistry and physics. And my daughter has George Nelson as her 7th grade teacher. And so I'm very excited about that. You know, she was very excited about it. She was like jumping up and down, and the first activity that George did is the first activity that I do. And so she was just kind of like too eager to say anything. And George kind of told her to act like she didn't know. And so,
She was good.
Yeah, she was. And something annoying is that our school district is in person, even though the numbers are increasing. And it is annoying to see families and kids that don't obey mask laws and social distancing to keep our schools open. And so I think our schools are doing a great job of trying to mitigate the risk, but outside of schools, there is little that they can do. So.
Melissa, I think you got those instructions, right?
Yes. Hi,
Okay.
I'm Melissa Grimscheid. I teach physics first in a suburb of Phoenix. Yeah, we are totally remote. So one of the things that's really annoying to me is that I can give instructions about 12 different ways and still get automatic million private chats of what are we doing again? So completely annoyed by that.
All right, Bill, and then Wendy, you're carrying us out.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm not in the classroom anymore. I work for AMTA, but annoying. So I've made a habit recently of going to Lowe's and buying the display, the floor model of these huge inflatable Halloween decorations. So I wait until the last box is gone, and I go in and I get 50% off, which is great. And I went to Home Depot the other day, and I found a 12-foot blow-up inflatable thing, and they only wanted to give me a 10% discount, and that really pissed me off. So I will no longer go to Home Depot. Thank you.
Are you sure you're not Dutch?
I was outraged. I was like, you're kidding. I'm out of here. I'm going back to Lowe's.
All right, Wendy, what's something bothering you lately?
Trying to get people, I'm part of a Dutch club, and we were supposed to celebrate the honorary consul's going away party, which was supposed to happen April 1st. And so by now I'm just thinking, okay, it's going to be April 1st next year. The fact that you cannot organize anything face to face is, it's getting annoying. It's just getting, it's just taking too long.
Yeah. All right. Let's my annoying thing is that the tree in my front yard drops leaves for like 5 consecutive months, and it just drives me crazy because I mow the lawn and it's nice, and then like one day later they're all covered in leaves, but the tree is still full. All right, so real quick, point to the person who is a doctor. Okay, point to the person who currently is really close to a cornfield. Point to the person who got ripped off by Home Depot, except that they stormed out after demanding to talk to the manager. All right, cool. All right, welcome everyone. We're very glad you're here. Thank you for coming. I know that the world is chaos right now, but this is really important. So, okay, so I assume that everyone got to watch the video, but I guess I should check. So will you post in the chat really quickly? Oh, you're gonna nod. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to talking to high school kids who have their video screens off. Okay, will you nod? Let's do this. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, will you go like this?
Oops, I'm the only one or no?
Awesome. Okay, so that's my former student. I'm so excited about this. That's Julie. My IB psychology teacher sent me that because he likes to have the kids read books about psychology and then do book talks like that. And he was like, you got to watch this one. And I watched and I was just like, that's so good. So my first question is, and I don't want anyone to answer right away, but my first question is, what jumped out at you that she said? And then let's do this. Oh, I don't know how we can do this. Can we do this? Can we do a talk to your neighbor?
I think you could just do random, do breakout rooms and do them random. Is probably as best as you're going to come, because I think we're all different neighbors.
Wendy, can you make me the host? Do you have the, are you the host or Bill? This is awesome think time for everyone though, by the way. That's nice. Or if it's easier, oh, I am the host. Oh, I can do it now. Okay. I'm in my element. I got it. All right, yeah, let's try this out. We're gonna do breakout rooms. Let's do 3 people in a room. All right, cool. Question is, what did you notice from that video? So let's go ahead and chat with each other for a brief couple minutes and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it a little more. Okay.